It's time to watch me through the lens of YouTube talk about through the lens of time. Strange New Worlds, Season 3, Episode 5. So let's get into it. Just 1 second. I just gotta click one thing. Hold on. There we go. That's better. All right, guys, welcome back. Yeah, in the library again today because I'm pretty sure that the YouTube app still sucks. And in fact, it does. It is still backwards. And nothing I can do about it. So don't come at me. Anyway, yeah, through the lens of time, finally, for some of you, you're getting a little Strange New Worlds in your Strange New Worlds. So, all right, let's see what you guys are talking about. Marco, hey Cap, I'll probably have to miss your live, but I'll check it out later. My question to you is about the eyes regeneration procedure. I have no problem with that. It was a fresh wound, so I have no problem with that. If it existed in the 23rd century, wouldn't it be available for Geordi a century later, other than that a fun episode? Geordi was offered it, and he refused it. Yes, Pulaski did say, you know, I've been working on stuff, and I can regenerate your eyes now. So yeah, it's one of those issues, but he was born blind. That's a different condition than having your eyes popped out, ejected from their sockets, as it was put. So, yeah. Wasn't there a TNG episode 2 where Hot Bev tried to convince Geordi to take up alternatives to his visor, and he had his reasons for not doing that? Then by first contact, probably because his visor was vulnerable, having experienced the shite that went down, no pun intended. In Generations, he underwent the eye implant thingy. Yes. You have to remember, it was Geordi's visor that led to the destruction of the Big D. Starfleet probably would not be happy about that. Then the prior incident as well, where his brainwashed by his visor. Again, thanks again to the Ramis. Yeah. Marco, yes, I think I remember some of those convos between Bev and Geordi, but still, it seems like a normal procedure in this episode. Oh yeah, I'll just bioengineer you a couple of eyeballs. Admittedly, I've not seen the episode yet. Also, awesome decision by Chapel and ultimately Spock for not following Starfleet procedure. Okay, yeah, the thing with the eyes, I don't have an issue with. They have his transporter pattern on file. They've got his DNA. He had working eyeballs. He was young. So them getting removed, I can see them regrowing them. But like I said, Geordi was born blind. So that's a different situation. So BJ says, I just finished it. It was okay. 7 out of 10. Return of the red shirt dying also, yes. Medical staff assistant died on first away mission, but wait, he in their main computer system. I don't think he is. An entity might be. We hit a high of 117 in the desert, but dry. Well, that's freaking hot, man. Take care of yourself. Trekker not, be patient. Please remain inside the starship at all times. But I'm here now. It's fine. YouTube has updated their UI. Yes, they have. And they've ruined it. And that's fine. You know, engineers, they love to change things. 26 people here, 11 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Let's get those likes up to at least 20. It can be easily done just by hitting the like button, and I'd really appreciate it. Let me know what you think about this episode, your thoughts on it. We'll talk about it and have a good time, hopefully, maybe. My video bar tools is different. It is invisible. Anton, the captain is in. I am captain on deck. Olivia, $2. Well, that was scary. Was it, though? I didn't find it very scary at all, honestly. There was some body horror going on with the gouged out eyeballs, but it was more effective when they first came out. Later, when they kind of scabbed over or whatever was going on, it didn't look quite as convincing and not so great. And yeah, this is reminiscent of a few other episodes of Trek, but yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get into that. Familiar old worlds. Hashtag justice for Gamble. Yeah, Dana Gamble was his name. Sean O'Sullivan, pop quiz hotshot. What episode of TNG features Scotty? Relics, dipshit. Relics. Shea Locomotive Productions. This is by far my least favorite Strange New World episode. There was some things I liked. I don't know if it was my least favorite at all, but I loved the inclusion of the Patel thing. We did see a Gorn in the one orb that Spock saw, and wow, did whatever possessed Gamble, whether that be a Gorn, which I don't think it was. I think this is probably a prison, and so the most dangerous criminals were put there, and or Gorn. And the thing that inhabited Gamble was probably an ancient enemy of the Gorn by the sounds of things. Also, the multi-dimensional thing was interesting because that would be an interesting way to cure somebody from a Gorn infestation. Multi-dimensional split them, encase the Gorn in these orbs. And then I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think it's gonna be a prison. It will be carried on, obviously, and it was really great to see Patel kind of kick into action. I love that her moves were very unnatural and very animalistic, like when she gets thrown and she lands on the biobed and turns. Fantastic. It's very much like a vampire kind of trope, like something you see in Underworld or something. And I had no issue with it. I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where this story goes for that, because this was pretty cool. This was a pretty interesting. Well, that being said, I thought it was a rather ugly episode. And the reason I say that is because it looked muddy and gray. It was all the same shit. I was excited to get the scenes back on the Enterprise where it's a bit brighter, especially that last scene in engineering with the multicolored lights behind Mbenga as he's pointing the phaser and stuff. Like, that just was beautiful. They obviously filmed in a quarry near Hamilton or Toronto for the planetary surface. The interior of the temple or the prison was understandably dark and menacing, and I get that. But the gray skies, I mean, I miss TOS. I miss TOS with the orange sky, the green sky, the multicolored plants. It's this drab fucking color palette every planet they go to. Same with Discovery, pretty much. And it bugged me. It bugged me. So, Rose Kirby, say hello or hey, hello. I'll say hello as well. Hey, hello and welcome, human life forms and species. Hello, chat Trekyards. Good morning from Friday, the 8th of the 8th. Yes. Phoenix Gundam. Well, Lovecraftian evil is just sitting around on some random planet, I guess. Yeah, very Lovecraftian. That's funny. BJ, by TNG, I would think they could get Geordi new eyes in the first episode. They got warp drives, transporters, and holodecks. Bio eyes would seem late 21st century tech. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about the eyes. But yeah. Let's see. Also, how friggin' old are the Gorn to know what it was? Good question. Very good question. I'm sure we'll get an answer. Don't worry. Yeah. Ozzy, his eyes cost the drive section, but Deanna crashed the saucer section. Ah, yes. Hypno member said, I thought it was boring. I mean, yeah, I get that. It's definitely, I think, better on a rewatch. Although the first watch through was interesting to see how it played out, because it was a strange new world, an alien civilization, ancient alien civilization. We got a new modern day alien. So there's a lot of really good stuff in that regard. So sorry you thought it was boring. I'd suggest maybe give it another watch. Like, I've watched it 3 times now. One for my first reaction review that we filmed earlier today, which you'll see tomorrow afternoon. And then I watched it to get more screen caps. And then I watched it just before this live with Sylvia because she's been working all day. So um, you appreciate a lot of the nuances a lot more. And like I said, our edited review will be up tomorrow afternoon. And then tomorrow late afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be our complete review and breakdown of the entire episode with me and Sam. So check out that if you can. By the way, guys, we're only at 18 likes. I still want to get to 20. We have 36 of you here. Hit that like button. And let me know your thoughts on this. Everything you guys want me to talk about, throw it in the chat. I will address them. I'm interested to find out what you guys think. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys as well tomorrow at the full review breakdown where we go in depth. But yeah. Ozzy, they did the Indiana Jones Last Crusade with the bridge. Yeah, leap of faith. Absolutely. Anton Smith, this episode gave me SG-1 and Indiana Jones vibes. I didn't get SG-1 vibes, but now that you've said that, yeah, I can see it. But definitely Indiana Jones type vibes, 100%. Hypno Amber, I know Ensign Gamble was going to die the moment it was his journal entry. I didn't. I did call that he was going to die when we first got introduced to him, though. And I told Sam as much. And so, yeah, it paid off that I was right for that. But it's a shame because I like the guy. I really do. Andrew Alt, I thought it was good, but it seemed to end too quick. I guess it was an Ancient Haunted House Ghost Alien episode, maybe Stargate inspired. Yeah, I thought the same thing, that it ended way too abruptly. Because I was looking at the time going, this is going to be a to be continued one. And it will be continued because it's the way it was left, right? Go figure out the stuff with Patel and all that. But yeah, for them to just be in the room and then walk outside again, it's a pretty big ass building. I thought there would be more like moving from room to room type situation going on when it started, which I was kind of hoping for, but it did end rather abruptly, yes. But that's a problem that a lot of Star Trek episodes face, especially TNG in the early seasons. Not even just the early seasons, just like everything's build, and then like the last 5 minutes, it's like resolution. Okay, we're leaving, and it's very quick. That's what this one was for sure, but not a complete resolution because of the computer glitch thing at the end. So, Anton Smith, also Gamble didn't get the Arium treatment. I thought he might get a cybernetic upgrade if he survived, but Hypno, but the Gamble storyline was the best part. Same old Corey for Tellus 4, yeah. And a bunch of other shit from Disco, so. Hypno Amber, that looked like the quarry where they shot the crap scene in section 31, where they had the fire and stood around in a circle talking. Absolutely, it was. I can guarantee it. It's one of the ones outside of Hamilton or Toronto. They have said which quarry they use usually. So, but yeah, just give us better alien worlds, man. Phoenix Gundam, the prisoner interior look kind of Borg-like. They just generally press the Borg button on this one. Totally disagree. I didn't see any Borg-like elements at all. Did not get that at all. Fleetpaw, $5. Have no fear, Fleetpaw's caught up on Strange New World Season 3. It was a good episode, and I was happy to see Pelia again. Sad that the new medical ensign died, though. Yeah, not really an ensemble cast. Like, everybody was there and had something to say, but a lot of, inadequate usage of people like Ortegas and stuff. Her brother got more to do in this one, which is fine, I guess. I kind of like him. But yeah, Pelia was bang on, and I love that the entity inside Gamble called her a Lanthanite child. Like, she's like 900 years old, so it's implying that this thing is much, much older than him, or than her. So that's interesting. BJ, inside had a lot of moving parts. Jedi Temple, Sith Temple. I got more of a Doctor Strange vibe from the moving elements. Jedi Temple, I can see maybe why you'd think that, but yeah. Captain Corky, this episode kept me interested. I wonder if they will go anywhere with these entities that were in the orbs. It left me endless questions. Looking forward to seeing where to go with it. Oh, they'll wrap it up because it ties into Patel. It ties into the Gorn. It's going to be interesting, I'm sure. Hypno Amber immediately thought that the ancient race that eventually went corporeal were the origins of the Q. Thoughts? I didn't think that till the third watch through of it, and then I was like, huh, this could have been a really good Q tie-in. Didn't go there. Could have, didn't, maybe. But yeah, I didn't think that the first watch through at all. So, Phoenix Gundam, it was a new world. That was strange. Joseph Barbato, sorry for being so quiet. I don't have much to say about this one, honestly. I'd say it's middle of the road for me. Yeah, I think it's upper middle for me. I didn't hate it. I wasn't over thrilled with it. I was really pulled in and intrigued with the first watch through though, so that's a good thing. But yeah, once you know the twists and stuff, it's more easy to go back and rewatch and see all the nuances, because there's a lot of nuance in this one. Like the relationship between La'an and Spock, you know, don't step on my toes. The when La'an said fascinating, and Chapel just gives her a look and then looks at Spock like, shit, these guys have been spending more time together than I thought. A lot of really great nuances in that regard. The fact that Chapel ended up listening to her ex-boyfriend over her current boyfriend, where Corby's like, don't do that, and Spock's like, you got to trust me, just do it. It's science matter. I know you don't trust me on a lot of things, but science. So there was a lot of really good stuff in this one, but it does require watch through, like 2 or 3 watch throughs. Phoenix Gundam, I'm glad they're bringing or leaning back to TOS uniforms. Agreed. Although I like the jackets. I have that jacket. I have the away team jacket from Strange New Worlds that they had in seasons 1 and 2. This is a new one though. It's got a hood. So do I need to buy another jacket now? Probably. I don't know. USN 1775. I wasn't crazy about this episode. It's fair. It's fair. Hypno Amber. Yeah, I liked him too. Bummer he had to go like that. Yes. Rose Kirby. How many Easter eggs or callbacks to other series did you count? I have 3. Doctor Who, Stargate SG-1, Indiana Jones. I did not clock the Stargate one at all. I don't know enough about Doctor Who, although Sam did mention Doctor Who when we did our filmed review earlier. But definitely Indiana Jones and the Leap of Faith. Yeah. Hypno Amber. Being a big building, it was probably mostly the tech needed to safely contain those things. Possibly, yeah. Fleet Paw, $5. They did the same thing to Arium when they killed her off. Gave her an episode and log entry just to kill her in the end. Poor Ensign Gamble. Rest in peace. Devo77X, they tried to make us feel it with Gamble. They did. I think they succeeded. I liked him in his first appearance. But they really laid that on thick. Like, yeah, he's been around. You were just a temporary ensign. Oh, I don't know. You might be sticking around. They really built it up. And that's why I said to Sam when the first episode with him came out, like, he's gonna die. He's gonna die later in this season, or maybe in the next season, but he's gonna die at some point. We're gonna get attached to him. The crew's attached to him. It's gonna be a big deal. Wasn't that big a deal, honestly, but I did like him, and it's a bit of a shame that he died. So, Rose Kirby moment. Doctor Who for the quarry, SG-1 because of the landscape, and Indiana Jones into that cave system. Hypno Amber. I was excited to have an alien world in my space exploration show, and it was meh. I did love the alien guy that was there. BJ says, add some fake rocks and vegetation, and the modern volume is basically an old Star Trek planetary set. Just add the music. Yeah, and the music was pretty good. There's definitely TOS musical hints in this one. Matthew Vincent, it reminded me of Disco too much. That's, I think, one of the reasons that it bugged me, and I just thought it was visually ugly, because, yeah, it's just Disco, which is not great, so. Smart Smears, I finally caught up and can join these lives. Episodes Episode was okay. Good sci-fi hook. Relationship stuff wasn't as obnoxious. Actually, did a mission off planet. Good stuff. Yes, I did like I like the relationship stuff when Lon and Chapel were talking in the hallway, and Lon's like, "Yeah, me and Spock talked. We're not going to put labels on it. Just the fun times." I didn't think anything but just them hanging out. And then when I watched it with Sylvia, she's like, "Fun times, huh? Is Spock her fuck buddy?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I didn't even consider that." But the way she said it, probably. Um, oh my god. Smart Smears, I'm finally caught up. Oh, just read that one. Sorry. Andrew Alt. I would have liked to see more of the castle. Indeed. Did anyone wonder how the nurse could give a log if he died? I assume he must be coming back. He gave a log before he left the ship. That's how. Devo, somehow these entities have a connection to the Gorn. Paul wanted to kill what was inside, or sorry, Patel wanted to kill what was inside Gamble, and the same image Spock saw was in those orbs. Yeah, 100%. Rose Kirby, yeah, but he was wearing a white uniform, not red. What does it have? What does it have to reminders of the end? I can't say the D word. What does it have to reminders of the end? Technically his uniform did become red with his blood, so I'm just saying we did get another red shirt death as well, killed through a force field, no less. Devo, Trek culture tracked the color of the dead crew: white shirt, blue shirt, and red shirt. Devo 77X, of course, blue shirt is questionable. We don't know if he was dead. Matthew Vincent says, right? I don't know what you're saying right about, but Hypnoamber, the Spock thing, that was the Gorn in his head from the mind meld he did with Patel. Even the memory Gorn was mad at these spheres. Her what buddy? Her fuck buddy. But you know what a fuck buddy is? BJ, he was so happy to be on the Enterprise in the honor of Harrington sci-fi book series. A scene in later book, the new crew scream in horror when they find out who the captain is. We're all gonna die. Okay. Rose Kirby, hey folks, love, like, hit tap, share this video, show some love. Yes, please do. We have hit 35 likes, which is fantastic. We have 52 of you here now, so I should get 50 likes. Hit the like button if you're just joining us, and feel free to super chat if you're able to. If you're not, that's cool. We'll just talk about Star Trek stuff and do the things. So, yeah. Let's see. Hypno Amber. I like Spock and Lion together this episode. They were very matter of fact, get the things done. Too bad that won't last. Yeah, it can't last, unfortunately. So, Fleet Pod. No, Mbenga called his mom to let him know that he died in the line of duty. Yes, 100%. I find out his first name, Dana. Dana Gamble. Why would Mbenga's mom care? It's not who he called, BJ. I see your smiley face, but random ensign died like my goldfish. Oh, poor goldfish. Neil Hammersmith. Hail Kaon! This episode had a good sci-fi plot. This episode could have been better, minus the soap opera bullshit. Writers think they are CW show. Smart Smears. I also liked Ensign Gamble, by the way. It's a shame what happened, but I agree that it worked on me. They set him up well. They did. He was a very nice, likable guy. And boo. Hypno Amber, because he was his commanding officer and he did say he liked the kid. Yes. I really thought that they were going to going to hear that it was his nephew or some relative of his um, when we first got introduced to him. And this episode also kind of walked us up to the edge to be like, is it somebody that he's related to? And then he just didn't go there. He's a good kid, a good ensign, somebody that's enthusiastic about being in medical, and yeah, um, I really thought he was related to him though, but kind of like Peter Preston from Wrath of Khan, but no, sadly no. Terrence Childs, I recently found out that the USS Enterprise did not take part in the Dominion War. Can you believe that? No, I honestly can't. I've heard that as well. I think it's the stupidest shit ever. But it's the same thing with Discovery and Captain Pike. The Enterprise didn't take part in the Klingon War. They had their big heavy hitter ships out far doing other stuff. Pike was understandably upset that he missed the war. Uh, but yeah, it's one of those things that makes no fucking sense. So, BJ, like to see a Starfleet member unhappy to be on the Enterprise because of the danger. Rather be on a safe starbase. Lower the number, the better. Well, there you go. BJ Mbanga, the chief O'Brien of Strange New Worlds. Jamie 42, it was fun watching Pelia playfully flirt in the meeting. Yeah. Do you need another one for the camera? Or do you ever want to see anything in engineering? I just think she really likes being in front of the camera. She's a bit of a diva. And I think it worked really well. I thought it was hilarious. Pelia is great. Hypno Amber. Oh my God, you might be correct with that one. What, Mbenga must suffer, just like O'Brien? Captain Corky, did the burnt out eyes remind anyone else of Event Horizon? Yes, 100%. Sam even makes a reference to that in the review we recorded earlier, which you guys will see tomorrow. But yeah, absolutely. There's a few other things that it reminded me of as well. I love that when he got hit too and he fell back. If you notice, there's a couple frames of him having like red eyes. And I assumed once he moved his hands away that you'd just see like red glowing eyes. But to move his hands away and just be empty sockets, like, what the fuck? Good job, Star Trek. Didn't expect that one. 55 of you here though, 39 likes. I do expect 50 likes. You don't have to hit the like button, but if you're enjoying, if you're having fun hanging out, just hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Flipa, oh my God. Yes, oh my God, that was freaky as fuck. Neil Hammersmith, writers did Ensign Gamble like Mbanga's daughter. Good character, treated like plot fodder. Yep. Hypno Amber, I can't remember Event Horizon at all. I wonder if I even watched it. Fit stars Sam Neill, who you might know as Alan Grant from Jurassic Park. It's a freaky horror movie. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It suffered from rewrites and a lot of deleted scenes, like a lot of scenes cut out. So the story doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's absolutely just a horror movie in space. And so, like opening up the pits of hell via like a black hole. Yeah. Anyway. BJ, well, now you know why the Enterprise is always the only ship in the quadrant, because the rest of the fleet is fighting a war on the other side of the Federation. Yeah, they're doing all the work, and the Enterprise is just out there being the golden boy. Like, we're just not going to let you get hurt. We're just going to, put you out to pasture, essentially. Hypno Amber, he never knew of his daughter. The entity knows all, even comes in its own magic 8-ball. Magic 8-ball, that's great. Human Resource, any news with regard to Star Trek Legacy? Pipe dream? No, there's no word. You're not going to see it. I'm sorry. It was never really a thing. It was a fan-created thing that caught on, that everybody kind of like, oh, well, that's a good idea. Apparently there's a booth at STLV right now for Star Trek Legacy. Like, sign the petition, but you're not going to make a dent. It was never going to be a thing, and if it was going to be a thing, it wouldn't necessarily be called Star Trek Legacy, but that just caught on. Terry Metalis would have loved to have done something, but unfortunately, petty politics and bullshit, and Alex Kurtzman being a petty little shithead, um, you know, everybody liked your Star Trek more than mine. Yeah, get out of here. You're gone. So Terry Metalis is out, and Alex Kurtzman's still around, giving us Starfleet Academy. Yeah. Devo, I read your comment and my brain went somewhere dark. But Devo says first Ortegas' fingers, then Gamble's eyes. I thought you were saying something about fingering the eye sockets, but that's thankfully not the case, because wow. Neil Hammersmith, the first time I saw writers actually position Pelia well when she was asked about her thoughts on the evil. Yeah, she shot Pike down. Like, Pike's like, good and evil are relative, and she's like, no, there's an evil in this universe as surely as there's good. I mean, see, she has seen some shit. She's like 900-year-old lanthanite, so. Terrence Childs, Captain Foley, here's a question for you. Would you marry a Kardashian female or a Romulan female? If you mean Kardashian, I'd much rather marry a Romulan female. If you say Cardassian, there are some sexy Cardassian females. The one that was hitting on Miles O'Brien was pretty hot. I'd probably go for the Cardassian female. But if you meant Kardashian instead of Cardassian, then yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Romulan. I'm sorry. Hypno Amber, I like Sam Neill. I'm watching a show called Untamed that he's in. I'm only one episode in. We'll enjoy. Anton Smith, the gory eyes of Gamble reminded me of Ichep's detached eye in Picard. Oh, I didn't even think about that once. And now you've made me think about it. Shame on you. Devo says, love Pelia's ask for another take. Joseph Barbado, they just announced Scott Bakula is going to STLV, which is crazy because he rarely does appearances. I know, and I'm not there. Pisses me off a little bit. I'll be there next year for the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, but this year couldn't make it, unfortunately. So hopefully everyone there has fun. It is a day longer this year as well. It started yesterday, which is crazy to me. Like 5 days of a convention. It's gonna put a dent in the wallet. I'm just saying. Fleetpaw says he'll marry the Romulan. Kardashians are stupid, especially Kim. Neil Hammersmith, technically Star Trek Legacy is a thing. Xbox 360. Yes, you're absolutely right. That's the only reason I got an Xbox 360 back in the day, was for that game. So, plus there's a lot of good mods for that. It's a good game. Not as good as it could be, not as bad as a lot of people say, and with the mods, it's pretty interesting. So, Hypno Amber, they are definitely doing a lot of gore this season. I like it. Star Trek's kind of always been about body horror. I mean, in TOS, you get people with no faces. All the face, like no eyes, no mouth, no nose, like, ugh. Removing Spock's brain. I know. It's not the worst episode of Star Trek or TOS by any stretch of the imagination, actually. But yeah, that episode. There's a lot of horror elements to the original TOS. I watched a YouTube video about that like 2 years ago, talking about all of the episodes of Star Trek TOS, and like more than 80% of them are like horror based in some way. It's scaled back a bit because of the 60s and all that, but the main premises of them are quite terrifying when you think about it. Devo. I know Scott Bakula has two big sci-fi shows to his credit, Quantum Leap and Star Trek Enterprise. Quantum Leap's great. Smart Smears. The modern version of the Enterprise missing wars is the USS Prodigy flying around while the rest of the Federation is coordinating the evacuation of Romulus. BJ. If crew members lost enough of the Rai members, we can assemble a new crew member like Dr. Frankenstein. Oh, I see. I see. Neil Hammersmith. What is explained? Why Patel and Gamble went slip not fighting each other. I mean, was it explained? No, not really. Just that there's an ancient hatred and a desire to erase the other one from existence. So, yeah. And it has to do with her Gorn DNA, which is interesting. Spock got a little glimpse of a Gorn in the orb. Again, I'm not quite sure if that was in regards to something he feared or didn't understand because of his mind meld with Patel. That's what popped into the orb image, or if in fact there was a Gorn in the orb. Don't know. They will let us know, I'm sure. Mark Trouble, watching it now, enjoying it immensely. Good. Hypno Ember, okay. Everyone is throwing a fit about the eye regrowth thing, but I remember it was brought up with Geordi that the tech existed, but his disability was in the brain processing. Who remembers shit? Yeah, that's what I stated earlier. He was born with the condition. He didn't just have fresh eyes 5 minutes ago and was a young kid who was healthy, and you have transporter patterns and DNA that can actually reconstitute the eyes. His eyes, he was born blind, so it's not as easy for him. But yes, there was a few mentions of him regrowing eyes, and he chose not to do it. And yeah, Pulaski even had been working on a procedure to make it more effective and better than what was offered before. So there's been a few instances of that. So Fleet Paw, I'm waiting for them to add more to Star Trek New Jersey. I don't have shit for people right now except Shatner, Mulgrew, Tim Russ, and the perennial shore uppers. Terrence Childs, which beverage is better, Romulan ale, Cardassian Canar, not Canard, but Canar, or Klingon blood wine? Romulan ale, hands down. Cardassian Canar is basically just fermented fish juice. Klingon blood wine is literally blood that's been fermented. And Romulan ale, I'm not quite sure what it's made of, but it's got a nice blue color, and it's the reason it's illegal in the Federation is because the second it hits your tongue, it gets into your bloodstream. So you're drunk almost instantly. That's why it's illegal. Kind of dangerous. Fleet Paw throws in $2. Brain? What is brain? Neil Hammersmith, writers fucked up on the regeneration of the eyes. Didn't, though? They didn't. Devo, possible future for the characters who don't make it to TOS or Star Trek Year 1. Lon dies. I hope not, but I do agree with your captain. Una gets command of the Farragut, and Ortegas joins her. Yeah, Ortegas and Una moving to another ship is great. But yeah, La'an is either going to die or she's going to be recruited by temporal investigations, in which case they might have to erase her from the timeline completely. That's why Noonien Singh is a big shock later in Space Seed. Or she has to fake her death. I'm voting for the former, the erased from the timeline, but still alive, working for temporal investigations. I think that's probably the way they would go with that. Fleet Paw, Romulan ale, it intoxicates you instantly as soon as the liquid touches the tongue. Yes. BJ says genetic memory like snakes and spiders for many people, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be a genetic memory thing for sure with these orb creatures. Hypno Amber. I remember Jordy talking about why he wasn't a candidate for the regeneration in one episode. God, I need to check out, but I don't know which episode. I'm not sure either, but yes, he did state that he wouldn't have perfect vision. Blask even said that. And Jordy chose to keep the visor. Hail Brain. Indeed. Thank you, Fleepa. Rose Kirby. Hey, what about the end of DS9? The eyes of the Paw Raves. I think you mean the Paw Wraiths? Hypno Amber. Most of our brains are devoted to vision. Lots of places it can go wrong. I know, by experience and by profession. Romulan ale is just milk in Star Wars. Ew. Fleet Paw Swiftback. You said brain. What is brain? And the pug made a noise. She's asking the question too, because she don't know what one is either. Well, it's because they don't have a brain. They are pretty brainless. There's Lola, and then there's Precious. So yeah, pugs and brains don't mix so well. Ozzy, remember James T. Kirk meet Captain Pike when he was promoted to fleet captain? Yes. Jamie42, all this canon stuff from Discovery and Strange New Worlds could have simply been avoided by clearly making this a totally different, and more fans would be happy. Totally different timeline? Yes. Rose Kirby, which year is Strange New Worlds set in? 2155, 2160? Isn't it supposed to be 7 years before TOS? Yes. Well, see, Discovery was 10 years before TOS. Then they had a bit of a time jump, which made it like a 3-year jump or something. Regardless, it's before TOS. I think it's, at this point, it's 2163 or 62. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. DUI Champ, there's an awful lot of so-called fans who live to find gotcha moments in new Trek and can't wait to run to the internet to throw it on everyone's faces. Yes. Trekyards is somewhat guilty of that as well, but we compare new Trek to old Trek. We point out the good and bad in all the Trek, so it's kind of what we do sometimes. Fleet Paw, the fat one and the jealous one. Which one is which? Well, you'll just have to visit Foley like I have to find out. They're both jealous. One's fatter than the other. One's hyper and has ADHD. And that's not the fat one. So, Neil Hammersmith, the episode is loud as a whisper. Jamie42, sorry, I deleted timeline. No worries, I knew what you meant. Mark Lawrence, 2200s, not 2100s. Did I say 2166? Sorry. Eric Martin, sorry, fell asleep. I was wondering where the hell you were. Should have known that would be the answer. Speaking of, it's not really speaking of, but where the fuck's my tricorder? I want my tricorder back. Ozzy and Spock's service with Pike over 11 years before he was promoted to fleet captain. Yes. And you've ramen and green ale whiskey. What? Peter Lukaku, the episode is almost over on Sci-Fi. I can join the live if you're still staying live. At least for another 15 minutes, yeah. DUI champ, you guys act in good faith analysis. These people are dying to shit on everyone's joy. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. You're absolutely right. They don't point out the good in any of it. They just point out all the bad, and they exemplify and exaggerate the bad parts that they don't like. So Andrew Alt 2161 now. Hypnoamber, I wish sometimes people just enjoy the damn show. Eric Martin, I get serious Event Horizon vibes from this episode. Well, if you would have been awake, we've talked about that. Yes. It's just because of the no eyes visual. So. Apparently you're fired, Eric. I'm sorry. Fleet Pa has, he's our HR manager, I guess. He's responsible for the hiring and the firing. So I'm sorry, but you're out of here. Jamie 42, I totally agree. Just enjoy the show. Eric Martin, your tricorder is in an alternate quantum dimension. God damn it, Eric. Find a way to get it back, engineer. Mark Lawrence, First Contact 2063, Enterprise a little under a century later, then TOS about another century later, TNG another century later again. Yes, I know. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. Chill out. Captain Corky, I will say this. A prison that lets anyone in that provides a blood sample seems like a jailbreak waiting to happen. I mean, hey, there were dead bodies on the floor. They were there either to rob it or free some prisoners. They died from starvation. They couldn't figure out the puzzles. It's fine. It's fine. Devo77X, either a season 5 or season 4 or 5, Kirk will relieve Captain Pike of the command of the Enterprise. One of the producers wants to make Star Trek Year 1, where we see Kirk's first mission in charge. That's a pipe dream. He even said it himself. It's something that they would like to do. They're probably not going to. I would have no problem with that if it was before Where No Man Had Gone Before, which is the second pilot, whether you want to believe it or not. And but they should do it as like a streaming movie, like they did with Section 31, but just not make it suck. I would be happy to have like a hour and a half, 2 hour long first adventure of Kirk type deal, or even a small mini series would be great to lead up to Where No Man Has Gone Before. But yeah, I think that'd be fine. Don't start trouncing on TOS though. And they said they don't want to do that. Can we just stop licking? It's gross. You're doubly fired for that shit. Wow. Fleet Pa's really on you, Eric. I'm sorry. Eric, so does this mean the Gorn are infected with those evil entities, and that is why they are so aggressive? Who knows? That's an interesting hypothesis. I'm not sure. I doubt it, but Ozzy, did Eric have some Romulan ale green whiskey? Probably. That's probably why he passed out. Joseph Barbato, I wonder if any news is going to come out of STLV. Never does. I mean, Picard, the announcement for Picard did, but because it's not officially Paramount licensed, the creation STLV, not really. That's why all of the announcements for for Starfleet Academy and all that stuff came out of San Diego Comic-Con last weekend. So yeah, Unfortunately, there's never really any big announcements at STLV, which is a bit of a shame. Might be small little things here or there, or hints of stuff, but it's never an announcement per se. Hypno Amber. Well, those aliens hid the tablet on one planet, the ring on another, and put everything deep underground. And then this damn human came along, found it all. Corby. Neil Hammersmith, isn't there a spin-off being developed to cover Kirk's year one of the Enterprise? I have seen articles popping up in my feeds. No. As Akiva Goldsman said, it's a dream that they'd like to do, but they have no intention of doing it right now. So no. Terrence Childs, I have a question for you, Captain Foley. Which would you rather live under, the Board Collective or the Dominion? Well, the Board Collective. What are we living under, like 2x4 boards? That doesn't sound fun. I'd much rather live under the Dominion. The Dominion have the Vorta. There's one or two hot Vortas. There's that female Vorta. I'm telling you, the Dominion for sure. The Borg or the boards do nothing for me. They're boring. And I realize that board and that board are spelled differently, but I don't know what the Board Collective is. So, yeah, absolutely the Dominion. Hypno Amber. Damn, I misspelled my own damn joke. I'll show myself to the Trek shame brig. No, don't do that. You're free to stay. Fucking Fleetpod's firing people, sending people to the brig. Hasn't been here in 5 fucking years and shows up and thinks he owns the place. What the hell? Fleetpod. Eric Martin, why don't away teams take a backpack with water and snacks? It seems logical to me. It does indeed seem logical. And it would make sense. I don't know. That's a very good question. But those only would last so long, right? Devo77X, Trek Culture pointed out that the bodies of the alien robbers looked similar to the slavers from the animated series. Maybe they were an offshore species, but that's just me. Trying to think. I got the book right up there too. Similar, yeah, I guess, but not similar enough to no. No, I don't buy that. Terrence Childs, Captain Foley, do you think that living under the Dominion is truly the worst fate for the Federation? No, it wouldn't be the worst fate. No. Fleetpaw, because it seems logical to you. That's why, Eric Martin. You're still fired. You stop hitting the bookcase. Jesus. Mark Lawrence, $5. Thank you so much, Mark. They shoot their load at Comic-Con and have nothing left for STLV. Sorry, it's just the way it looks. It's not the way it looks, it's the way it is, my friend. But I don't know if I'd go so far as to say shoot their load. Although it does very much sound like something I would say, but I did say fuck buddy earlier in this live as well. So there's that. Thank you, Mark. Hypno Amber. At Eric, or like a mini personal replicator, pocket-sized. Yeah, it produces marshmallows. If you know, you know. Andrew Alt, I thought in the second pilot, they say they're doing surveys for 13 months and nothing much happened. Stop working for us. They don't go eat some breakfast. What? Joseph Roberto, I'm getting airlocked by Fleetpaw. Oh no. Fleetpaw, only if you piss me off. I've airlocked a few bots tonight, so I have quenched my bloodlust. Not quite sure those are bots either, but that's a whole other situation. August, Vadia 9. The planet is same one where Kirby was doing archaeological stuff that Trelane noticed. So it's the Trelane or Q homeworld. Sure. All hail Fleet Power. No, don't do that. BJ, Dominion just wants to control everything to keep the founders safe. They should have said, we come in peace, and just slowly assimilated the Alpha Quadrant through economic power, like the EU. They had suitcases, says Ozzy. They did, but they left them outside. Do Brexit and the Jem'Hadar come? Eric Martin, Dr. Mbenga needs to sedate Fleet Paw. Yes. I agree. Well, to be fair, I mean, yesterday Fleet Paw was in the hospital, so. Thor Odinson. So, what is the connection with the going and the entities? The Gorn and the entities? I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and find out. It's an ancient feud, I guess. Andrew Alt, sorry about my last comment. My new phone kind of sucks. That's okay. Sorry, your phone sucks, but that's okay. Hypno Amber, was it the same one? I did assume the alien race that discovered immortality was the Borg. Oh my fucking god. I'm just gonna move on because I don't want to get into that. Fleet Paw, oh no, don't hail me. You'll make my head swell, and my leg is swollen enough from surgery yesterday. Hope you're feeling better, sir. Eric Martin, okay, Fleet Paw is doped up from surgery. That explains a lot. It does. It explains why he's here. Because, like I said, he hasn't been here in 5 years. So if he's got a leg up and he's drugged, he's like, yeah, Trekyards, he'll do that. Because otherwise, he's never here anymore. So, boo, Fleet Paw, boo. Rose Kirby, Star Trek Year 1, does it mean that Lee Ann will be in the past or jump forward to the future? You mean La'an? What? Hypno Amber. I meant the Q. Oh, good lord. This alien from the sphere is dissolving my brain today. Okay, first of all, it's not the fucking Qs. I thought that on the third watch through. Maybe it could be the Q that built this thing before they became non-corporeal. Yes, Trelane did say that he saw him digging up on the old homeworld. Doesn't mean it was this planet. Doesn't mean it was any of the other planets that he found these artifacts on. Makes sense it would be, but we don't know 100%. I don't know if they ever did say the name of the planet that Trelane saw him digging on. So there's that. Captain Corky, I do hope we see a good reason for Spock becoming more logical and reserved, but for now, he's getting more ass than Kirk. Obviously, he gets his heart broken again because he's involved with La'an and she dies, and he's had enough because Chapel broke his heart, La'an broke his heart, or gets his heart broken. Maybe not, she doesn't break it. You know, dying, it's not really her fault necessarily. So, yeah, that's where we're going to see the more stoic, emotionless Spock in TOS, would be my guess. In other words, will be set after the Wrath of Khan. No, it won't be. August says, yeah, they mentioned in One of Blues, I think it makes sense with the immortality stuff. Yeah, it doesn't, though. It doesn't have to all tie together like that. No. And if it is the same planet, cool. But that's a Trelane entity. That's not a Q, so. BJ, I would like to see an alternative timeline miniseries with Earth part of the Klingon Empire. Kind of like For All Mankind, where the Russians won the space race. Yeah, For All Mankind's fantastic. I would love to see an alternate Star Trek timeline, sure. Mark Lawrence, $5. Thank you so much, Mark. Since we're getting a year one series, I hope we get an episode with Ozaba and Link. I have no idea what any of that means, and we're not getting a year one series, so I don't know what to tell you. Hypno Amber, I have a new theory. I think the Gorn shadow from the Patel in his brain will mean he has to do a bunch of Vulcan stuff to control it. Supply. That's an interesting one. Fleet Paw, I was here last week a couple of times. I've been here for the first reactions. For all the first reactions. Have you, though? Okay. I'll believe you. Thousands wouldn't, but I will. Hypno Amber, well, I hope you feel better soon and get some rest. Indeed. Do those things. Listen to Hypno Amber. She will hypnotize you. And then embed your body in amber. Like a Jurassic Park mosquito. Feel better. Eric Martin, $10. I've been fired twice, but I won't be silenced. Yes. Go, Eric. Colin, after watching this episode, do you think we have not seen the lazy of the Gorn? The last of the Gorn in Stranger Worlds. Why, after watching this episode, do I think we didn't think that we saw the last of the Gorn since the beginning of the season. Episode 2 had a Gorn in it. That was Wedding Bell Blues, for God's sakes. It's just an apparition behind Ortigas, which is suffering from her PTSD, but there's been a lot of Gorn-ness going on. The zombie episode, they had to go get a flower, the Chimera flower, to make a hybridized version of Patel with the DNA of the Gorn in her. So yeah, the Gorn are not gone by any stretch. Jamie, my first guess in this episode was reference to the thing that killed Tasha, but I could be totally wrong. Armis? I mean, the beings on that planet did ascend, and they had to shut off all their negativity and awfulness and evil, and that's what was left behind was Armis. So, yeah, maybe. Eric Martin, Missing Bridge gave me Last Crusader vibes. Yeah. Last Crusade vibe, yes. Yeah, Leap of Faith, for sure. I already mentioned that, but you were asleep. Maybe you heard it subconsciously. Fleepa, I'm doing good. I was a little hangry yesterday, though. I made it through, but wasn't counting on spending the night in the hospital last night either. Well, I'm glad you're okay. Peter Lukaku, I don't know, man. Cap, you're losing steam with Trekyards. I love you, but you seem like the heart's not in it as much as before. When you're pumped to do lives, I miss those days where we talk food. Well, I used to do like a couple lives a week on the personal channel. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not 100% into it like I used to be. But not just this, every fucking aspect of my life. I'm not living my life. I'm surviving right now. I'm in survival mode. I don't drive the Camaro. I don't make models. I don't do anything that I find any enjoyment in or used to. I just sit around and I'm in a massive depressive slump. So some days are better than others. But yeah, I'm not quite into it. It doesn't mean it's not going to turn around because it always does. This has just been quite a long stretch. So I've driven the Camaro like 4 times this summer. That's it. Which is odd for me. I usually take it out a couple times a week. I just haven't had the desire. And I don't want to get into it. So. Alova Harry. How does the Gorn tie in? Don't know. Mark Trouble. Get some Prometheus vibes from that episode. Ridley Scott vibes. I mean, yeah, sure. Classic for real. Woo. It's not over yet. It's not. Joseph Barbato, Cap, I miss the Bridge Crew and the Armada lives. Yeah, I do too. I haven't done those in a long time. I haven't played fucking Armada in a long time. I still got a game that's like half done that was started on a live a little while ago. Bridge Crew, yep, haven't played that in forever. I miss those two. Don't worry. We'll get back to them at some point. Mark Lawrence, I'm just assuming Y1 becomes year one becomes a thing since we don't want it. Oh. Hypno Amber, no more hypno, only evil brain entity here. Oh, okay. Well, as long as you're taking part in the conversation, it's all fine. Just be nice to Hypno Amber. Joseph Barbato and Helldivers for Democracy. I play Helldivers almost every night for a year and a half. And then this last week, haven't played it for like 4 days. But usually I play it for an hour or two every day. So just don't stream it because everybody complains. Oh, I don't want to watch you play Helldivers. Eric's one of those people. So whatever. If you guys aren't enjoying it, I'm not going to do it. So Eric Martin, the chances of Patel ever being declared fit to command a ship are shrinking fast. Yes, absolutely they are. Fleet Power, Brain. What is Brain? Classic for real. Wedding Bell Blues. Ah, Gorn Wedding. Gorn Wedding. Ah, that was in Lower Decks. Hypno Amber. Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you. I don't think she's going to make it. Captain Corky. Crazy theory, but what if the ancient Gorn were one of the races that helped defeat the Orb aliens? Could be the case. It could absolutely be the case. Rose Kirby. I'm trying to have a timeline of Star Trek TV and films. So Salting 1899 all the way to 2300 or 2500 could be further. Cool. Have fun with that. Eric Martin, Gorn Wedding, bachelor party would be unsurvivable. Colin Barrett, I don't know. Picard was assimilated by the Borg, destroyed 40 starships, was liberated, and back in command of the Enterprise days later. It's true. True. Patel does stand a chance. Classic for real. Stuart, here's hoping now we're getting back into good Trek after the end of Lower Decks. Life's going to start feeling right again. Thank you, Classic. It's not because of Star Trek that I'm feeling down. I have depressive slumps. And I've been in one for probably 3 months now, at least, where I'm just surviving, just getting through the day, not living life. So, Trek or not, I try to perk your bizarres with some starship modeling, lol. That sounds really dirty, and shut up. Fleet Paw, funny story. I went back at 8:45 p.m. I was chatting with the surgical staff and silently praying. They had the mask on my face, getting me oxygenated. They pushed a drug to start the anesthetic. I said, it's getting foggy, and then tried praying out loud. I got as far as Father, God, thank you, and then fades to black. I was gone. Wow. Yeah. Captain, Captain, I'm in the same boat, so I get it. May we both get better days soon. I've had the last week. I've had a few more up moments than I have in a recent time, so it is getting better. And I can't say it's seasonal because a lot of times around Christmas time I go through this, but or like January, February when the weather's shit. So it's not seasonal. It's just a thing that happens. It's just whatever. It's fine. Terrence Childs, my personal opinion is that Romulan females are more attractive than Cardassian females. Yes, but a little too logical and a little bit too bitchy. Cardassians, from the Cardassian females I've seen anyway, on DS9, like the scientists, they seem pretty all right. They seem pretty, they'd be a little bit wild in the bedroom, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, the Romulans probably would be too. That's a whole other discussion. Jamie, 42, $2. Hope things improve for you. Take care. Well, thank you, Jamie. Much appreciated. I hope they do as well. Trek or not, I got so depressed, sometimes I become concave. That's funny. Fleet Paw, propofol is a heck of a drug, lol. I remember nothing. Yeah. Thor Odinson, whatever is bringing you down, I hope you can take some joy in knowing that you bring joy with your content. And a lot of people take care, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that as well. Yeah. One of the reasons I enjoy doing this because it makes other people happy or angry. Some people get angry. That's okay. Rose Kirby, thank you, Captain and chat. Great show. And till next time, signing off. Blessings and greetings to you all. Thank you, Rose. See you later. Classic for real, $2. Well, here's $2 to help survive more. Thank you, Classic. Eric, Fleet Paw, any good bottles of scotch? We'll do that to you. That's true. Bottles of scotch are good shit. Speaking of Eric, I know you got to come over and like we'll have to have a campfire, and you'll have to like sit and be depressed with me and not drink alcohol because you don't drink alcohol very much, which is, I mean, you don't want to get shit faced all the time, but you know, just saying, you got to come over. Colin says, I will say one thing: the visuals when the entity attacks, the eyes are eye popping. LOL. It's funny. Andrew Alt, I hope they don't do a year one or a TOS reboot. I would be fine with a phase 2 Kirk's second mission. I'm sorry we're going through a rough patch. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Chuck Jones, am I the only one who thinks this is the first Strange New Worlds episode to feel to me like what Strange New Worlds is supposed to be about? Strange planets, strange mysteries, strange aliens, and strange technology. No, and I started the live off with that. I said, finally, for a lot of you, some strange new worlds in your strange new worlds. Hypno Amber, I can say that at least Strange New Worlds is making me happy right now and getting back to Trekyards to chat. It's a nice break. Well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying the show and also coming here. I appreciate that. Eric Martin, half a bottle of Canar and the Cardassian females will get much more attractive. Indeed. Trekyardians, happy and anger. Ah, yes, the great balance in the Force. Anton, you bring us joy, Cap. Thanks for being here. Well, thank you, Anton. I appreciate that. I try. I mean, I don't know why anybody would watch me half the time when I'm like this, but you seem to listen and hang out, and I appreciate that. So you guys are awesome. Mark Trouble, thanks, Cap, for the great stream. This is the place for Trek Online. Hope you're feeling better. All the best. Thank you, Mark. Live long and prosper. Hypno Amber. Oh, yeah, on that we agree. I have been loving this season, but I need more space exploration. I blame the short season. Short season definitely has a lot to do with it. They want to get the fun stuff in, but they don't have 26 episodes to do that. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. Eric Martin says, yes, I do need to come down for a fire to cheer Cap up. I do drink just far less than college days. Do you, though? Because you've never had a drink when you're here. Fleet Paw, Cap, I honestly hope you start feeling on the up and up. This year has been like, I don't know, very depressing. It has been. And it feels longer than it is, but it feels really short. It's weird. And thank you, Fleet Paw. I appreciate that. Terrence Childs, what do you think ever happened to the planet Angel One, the planet where all those women were in charge? Do you think the men finally got equality? Equality? I mean, yes. Maybe, probably, hopefully, someday, soon. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Hope that's a definitive answer for you. Trekyardians, have a barbecue, Cap. Be a cool live. Still waiting on that Trekyards charity boxing match. What? On that strange note, I think I'll call it quits. Yeah, this was an interesting episode. Some strange alien technologies and worlds, and that was great. I think a very quick wrap up, but overall very interesting. Hate to see Gamble go. He was really good, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was, like I said, it's probably upper mid for me as far as quality goes. I can't wait to see what the outcome is. I think the outcome of this whole thing will be a big factor in how this episode will feel later, if that makes any sense. Probably not, but you know what I mean. Like, so yeah, some body horror this week, and everybody got something to do. What are you doing? slamming around, hitting the bookcase. Goddamn bug. All right. Now Angel 1 is still the matriarchy. The men are still underrepresented and treated like as playthings and pampered like the little boys they are. I'll have to move there. That sounds like fun. Grant McGregor, I overall enjoyed this episode, but what got me was the we should leave chapel. No, we should stay, Spock. They just got there. They could have waited a day or two. Huh? Classic for real. They visited Strange New Worlds before. Mariner and Boimler talked about those old scientists visiting those Strange New Worlds with that time travel gate thing. Jamie says, good night. Thanks for the stream. Vulcan salute. There we go. Eric Martin, as it's soon going to be expendable white shirts for Strange New Worlds. Yeah. Classic for real. Night Stewart. Captain Corky, have a good night, Captain. You're one of the greats. Thank you, Captain Corky. All right. That's a good place to leave it, calling me one of the greats. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're here tomorrow for the afternoon edited review and then the 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time full review and breakdown with me and Sam. Should be a good time. And until then, I'm Captain Foley. You guys be awesome. I'll talk to you later.